So we're gonna try this again for the third time because the first time, too much was going on. Second time, there was a bird over here, and I'm pretty sure that was like a spiritual download message for me. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with my grandma in general. Um, because I feel like she's always watching over me. She's always with me. And then there was a plane making noise. So I'm outside to make this video so I can talk a little bit louder than I would be inside, but I'm not going to be extremely too loud because it's still early in the morning. I haven't talked about anything that's happened to me, towards me, anything in a long time. This situation that happened to me was back January 6th. January 6th is when it happened. January 6th was also, unfortunately, the same day that I lost my grandfather. So this is a lot to unpack for me. And I'm not going to go into full detail. But I had a very traumatic situation happen to me at my job that I'm currently working at. And that's the best way I can describe it. It's traumatic. I just know that when you are a certain type of way, like your spirit is a certain type of way, and things happen to you that you can't really explain. When it happened, I took some time to really try to process it, but at the same time, like, this happened right before I was leaving work, and then like hours later, once I got home, my grandfather was already in the hospital. He was already fighting complications due to COVID because he still had it, the new strand that was out at that time. And unfortunately, he didn't make it, and I can't recall what time he passed, but I do know it was later on that night. I think it was after 7. I could be wrong though, but he passed. Okay. Um, took time off of work to grieve, took time off of work to really try to process things, but because this traumatic situation happened at work due to a previous coworker and a coworker, just some shit went down that shouldn't have went down. And when I came back to work, I was only there for like one day, and then I typed up what happened to me, put it basically in the hands of who I felt like at the time it needed to go to, and that went downhill quick. I don't like how it was handled. I do not appreciate being, after all this was handled, the female made it seem like that I was making. I'm just gonna put a little bit out there, that I was making advances on her and I wasn't, and I don't like that the male tried to physically roll up on me and fight me. He threatened me, and then on top of that, you call out my sexuality. Now, do I feel like it was fairly handled? No. I don't even know, to be honest, if anything got turned in. And the reason I say that is because when I got put up in another location, in another room, to help protect me because of what happened. But months later, here it is, over 3 months later, I think we're rolling up on 4 months now, and all of the sudden this man is still at the job. And I really honestly thought that they would have took it a little bit more on a serious level of things, but I'm not here to say this to like be a victim or nothing. It was extremely messed up the way it was handled, but there was a message that came out of it because I'm no longer a victim in the situation. It's sad that it went down that way, but I see what the message is that had to be brought out of it in a spiritual matter. So I got put up in this room, and at first, the first 2 to 3 weeks, I was so mad, hurt, angry, upset, crying every day, going off every day, not understanding why did it have to be me. I was in there, and I just started to really use my brain, and I was like, you know what? Why not start applying for new jobs? Why not start redoing my resume in the first place and just uploading things and seeing what's out there? Y'all, had I not had that happen to me, I would have still been complacent in where I was at my job. It's still messed up, but I would have been complacent in where I was at because I was okay with the bare minimum. I was okay with barely getting paid, just a little over $15 an hour. And I've done this for years at this job. I was okay with going above and beyond and not really getting recognized for it, and dealing with the older generation that is getting ready to retire, and them, seeing the light within you, and then them getting mad because they decided to basically settle at that job. Not everybody is like that, but I feel like majority of like the negative spirited people that I deal with on a daily basis there, it can be that way. And I just decided to apply for something else. And thankfully, something did happen. Something is still in the works. And I cannot wait to get my start date. That is the only thing I'm waiting on. I cannot wait to move to a different state because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm being patient with it. But I noticed that had that not happened to me, I would have still been here. I would have still been okay with everything. Like when you ask for certain things to move in your favor and you start trusting your intuition and your gut, and you really start following the things that you believe in on a spiritual level, things start to manifest, things start to move. You have to put in the work though. And I'm thankful for a new start. I'm thankful to be leaving here because I feel like my family is I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My family and a select amount of friends that are still here and slash coworkers that I do trust, the very few that I have, they're the only reason I'm here. They're the only reason I'm here. And I feel like I'm not gonna flourish until I leave and start somewhere new. Cause this whole situation was just wild. Like I've never witnessed anything like that in my life. And I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot in service. I've been through a lot just in general. And for y'all to not take this seriously and just make it seem like, oh, we just gonna brush it under the rug. You can. But when I leave, I know I'm not gonna be, I got a hair on me. I know I'm not gonna be the last one that has gone through this. And I probably won't be the last one that has to deal with that type of mess anyway. But I'm extremely thankful for my lesson. I'm extremely thankful. Like I've had so much happen at that job, and that was just the icing on the cake. And God was like, "All right, sit down, do what you need to do, and figure it out. Ask for what you want, put it out like you want it, and just go after it. And do not doubt yourself." And that's exactly what I've been doing. And it sucks right now. I feel like part of this is like this is my grandma's like way of telling me it's okay, because she used to love animals. She used to also love birds. I miss my grandmother, and I do miss my grandfather very much. I lost my grandmother at my job back on September 25th of last year due to stomach cancer, and I've been vegan for like a little over 2 months now, and I'm not gonna go into a whole bunch into that, but I'm just glad that I am. I've dropped like way over 12 pounds now in total, just eating healthier, and I feel much better, and I feel just more like in tune with myself and spiritually connected and all that other stuff. And I'm thankful that I finally started listening to my body, but she was part of the reason why I went vegan. That, and I seen a documentary on stuff, and I was putting like linking stuff together, and I was like, damn, that's what caused her cancer, because she didn't, unfortunately, she didn't eat properly. She didn't eat properly, and she didn't drink a whole lot of like healthy things. She was always in the soda. She was not drinking water. Like, it was just a multitude of things, and I just didn't want to go through that. And I seen her suffer, unfortunately, right before she passed. But I lost her on the 25th, and then not even 4 months later, that situation happened on the 6th, and my grandfather died on the 6th that night due to COVID in the hospital. Um, and then I think it wasn't even 2 weeks later, my nephew was born. I'm very thankful for my niece and my nephew and my baby nephew that I have. I'm very thankful for my sisters. I'm very thankful for my aunt. I know she's been through a lot. Um, and it's, if I hadn't had that, and I'm very thankful for Lynn as well. If I had not had all of this, like, structure and assist, and my father, I'm very, very, very thankful for my father. My father has helped me through a lot. Financially, he has been there for me. He has talked to me through certain things. But y'all, it was a lot personally to deal with. And I just kept saying, you know what? I'm going to trust my instinct. I even did some tarot reading cards on myself, pulled some cards, and a lot of them said months ago that I was going to get ready to travel. And every time I talk about something like this, you hear a point. But I was going to get ready to travel. And, me, I'm so stuck in my ways, like, and I'm trying to get out of that. But the old habit things, like, ooh, I'm just trying not to be a creature of habit with stuff like that. I'm getting better, but I'm very thankful for what was shown to me, not only about the job, not only about the people, but the lesson that I needed to learn. And I'm thankful to be a lot more receptive and open up that side of me to be receptive. Like, I listen to that a lot at the job. I listen to Abraham Hicks a lot, and I only watch certain things on YouTube. I only do certain stuff for myself, and it's really helped out. It's really helped out. So you don't always have to be the victim. You're not always a victim. You can't always have that victim mindset or mentality about, oh, why is this happening to me? That may be your initial response, but as you get older, you learn that there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. Whew. I'm thankful that I was able to be receptive, and I was able to download things, and, and get myself better and get myself out of that mentality and be just appreciative of everything. I'm appreciative of the little things. I'm appreciative, even when I have to sit at home and wait on things or not understand why certain things are not happening. And you can't always control everything as a human. I know we try, and we've been taught that we have to do certain things a certain way in the society, but once you start unlearning stuff, you really start understanding, like, that's not for you. That's not for you at all. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. That you're not always the victim, and sometimes when stuff happens to you, you have to sit down, and you may not be able to initially do it, but when you come back to it, give it some time, give it some air, let it breathe, and then come back to it and see what lesson did I need to learn in that. What was in there for me to let me know, like, hey, this is what you needed to know. This is what you needed to understand. This is what you needed to have done to you, or this is what you should have learned in this. You gotta be positive. You gotta try to keep a positive mindset. You gotta try to be a positive person. You can't always be negative. You can't always be negative. Doesn't get you nowhere in life either. But, all right. Get off of this thing. I done talked enough. Peace, love, and light to the whole universe out there.